My football coach told me to wrestle and make me better at football, and I turned out liking wrestling more.
I started wrestling because my cousin said I'd probably be good at it, and I had a gym teacher in 6th grade. He showed it to the class, and I really liked it. It just felt like one sport I would like. I didn't really like football or soccer or anything. I just liked wrestling a lot more than all the other sports.
Well, when I was, I think I was about, I was probably in kindergarten when my mom first mentioned it, because my mom got married when I was like 5, and we had always talked about getting my name changed to my stepdad's last name, because my real dad really isn't in the picture anymore, and so she just recently got it changed, like probably like freshman year, and when that happened, my name got changed from Del Real to Salazar. Well, some mix-up happened with the yearbook that they didn't put me under either name in the yearbook, and I was just completely cut out of the yearbook. I wasn't in any club or sport to include me in. So I just wanted to make sure that I felt a part of the school. I wanted to be in the yearbook. I wanted people to know who I was and not just be some faceless, anonymous nobody, whatever.
I started wrestling because mostly my brother was really trying to get me into it, and my friend Jesse, always, every time I saw him, he'd tell me that I needed to wrestle every single time. So finally, in my sophomore year, I decided to give it a try, and it was fun. So I decided to do it this year too, and I'm glad I did.
I started wrestling because my dad told me good self-defense for 4 years, so I wrestled for 4 years, ended up liking it, went on for another 4 years, and sticking with it.
When did you start?
I started when I was 8 years old.
I started wrestling because of my dad. My dad got me into wrestling, and once I started wrestling, I just couldn't stop wrestling.
I started wrestling sophomore year. I started wrestling because my friends really wanted me to actually try out. A lot of people told me, "Hey, you look like a wrestler," and I was like, "Do I really?" And they said, "Yeah." He said, "What sport do you play?" I said, "I play football." He said, "Well, wrestling helps out football." I was like, "Okay." I ended up not making weight for football. I was really small, so I just made a thing out of wrestling.
You know, it's a funny thing about wrestling. 6 minutes can define who you are. 6 minutes will either declare you champion or destroy your dreams. Seems like such a small amount of time to destroy so much. One can actually pinpoint the exact moment when someone breaks. It's tough to watch sometimes. It's real tough.
I was nervous and somewhat scared because I didn't know what I was going to wrestle besides JV and varsity. And I didn't know how the other wrestlers were going to be, tough or fast or skilled.
How were they?
They were all of them. So I had to catch up a lot during the season. Hardest thing was wrestling people that were almost guaranteed adults, and they have a lot matured in muscles, but I do have some years behind me that can add up to that. Wrestling's always been a challenge because there's a lot of people always watching. There's certain people who you don't want to disappoint, and sometimes it's kind of hard to who you want to listen to, because I got outer family trying to coach me at the same time as my coaches, so that's always been a challenge.
Who do you usually listen to?
I usually listen to my dad, but this year I tried to listen to Coach a little more. My family influences me a lot because I got 2 other siblings that wrestle as well, and I've been wrestling for a long time, so I have great expectations from my mom and dad, and they know that I have the ability to win a lot of my matches, and sometimes I don't, and when I go home it's kind of weird because I should have won that match, and then I get nagged at sometimes.
My family doesn't influence me in wrestling at all. People I live with support my wrestling. They want me to go to tournaments, and they give me money to go to them. So.
Some stuff that affected me outside of wrestling was my grandma's sick, and they couldn't. My grandpa has to take care of my grandmother, and I live with them, so my grandpa could barely make it to any of my matches. So I basically had like, my parents came to like a few of my matches, so that was one of the things that really got to me. I was like, they really don't care, but it turned out like, you know, I don't know. I walked up to him, I'm like, oh Dad, I can't believe you made it. And he's like, yeah, you know, I'm always here for you. I could tell him like, you're acting a little weird. And he's like, no, I'm not. And I was like, yeah, you are. And I was like, I really went off on him. I said, if you ever come to one of my tournaments again, acting like that again, you know, I don't want you here, you know. And he said, all right, and he never showed up to one of my tournaments again. Yeah, that's all I have to say about that.
There's a lot of different emotions that happen in the span of 1 year of wrestling. Coach and wrestlers can be angry at each other, hate each other for 1 minute, and the next minute be completely loyal to each other. It just all depends. It depends on the situation. There was one tournament this year though, one tournament that, wow, words just couldn't explain what happened.
Well, I'm not really sure what happened that Wednesday. I wasn't feeling very good that day. I didn't go all out on my first match. I was real slow and I was weak.
My coach felt very disappointed, and I don't know the rest because I was avoiding him.
Coach Ben was pissed. And that tournament, I don't know what happened at that tournament. We all were out the first few matches. Well, before we got into the car, we all did Rochambeau, who would ride with Coach. And me and Wes lost, so me and Wes went into that car. We were silent for about 30 minutes. We didn't say anything. We're scared shitless, honestly. But it was a scary ride home.
It was really fun and a lot better than I expected. I didn't really expect him to talk to us after we got beat out of Windsor.
He ended up, after about 30 minutes, he ended up saying to us, you know, I don't really feel like being pissed for the whole car ride home, but I'll take it out on you guys at practice. For right now, you know, let's put it behind us, and it's just another tournament. You gotta move on past there.
They weren't kidding. I was pretty pissed after Windsor. But I realized that we're going to have our ups and downs. And it's tough to transition to a new coach and to a new team and being a first-year coach. So that's what this year was. A lot of ups and downs. There's a lot of good kids on this team, though. And a lot of these kids are going to be tough. And they were tough this year. And I think we proved that with every dual meet we went in. We went into every dual meet short-handed. And yet, we won every single dual meet, in my opinion.
I want you guys to have fun, but I still need you guys to fight. Because when we win all 7 matches, they're not going to go away thinking, oh, well, we still beat Antioch. On the paper, it's going to say, yep, Antioch lost, and our record's going to lose. But when they go home, they didn't have a single freaking kid who can hold his head up high because he got his ass beat by some Antioch pud who doesn't have a good room, who doesn't have heaters, who has shitty mats, who comes out in warm-ups and shorts that don't match because we don't have all the warm-ups and the nice shoes. When they get beat by us little puds, us poor kids, oh, they hate that. You guys are mean. You may not be used to being told that, and you're definitely not used to being told that's how you should wrestle. That's why it takes some time, okay? You seniors, you've been wrestling this long, it's hard for you to change the style that you're wrestling, okay? But you can start changing it now. This will be the night. All I want you to do now, don't worry about warming up. JV is going to be done pretty fast, okay? We'll get a little bit warmed up later, but right now, go find a spot on the mat. Find any spot on the mat, find it offside the mat. Find it in the freaking locker room, I don't care, anywhere that's nice and quiet for you, okay? I'm going to shut the doors. I don't want you to think about the opponent. I don't want you to think about the win, anything like that. I just want you to think about fighting. But no matter what happens out there, how much are you going to fight? How much fight is in you? I know you guys have a lot of fight. I've seen it. I pissed half you guys off. I swear Wes almost punched me in the face the other day. Had my ass against the wall calling him a bitch because he couldn't take me down. I know you have fight in you. Find a spot on the mat. Go find that fight. You go out there and unleash it. Let's go. I'll shut the doors.
Okay, Cat. Right there. Half. Half. Good. I do not. There you go. Good. Right there. Hold it. Right. No, first move's explode. Right there. Hip up. Hip up. Stay top. Right there. Turtle. Circle.
Gotta keep his weight down.
You get that underhook and throw it. Shoot it. Up you. Move. Swing, get the head! Right there, hit it! Take it! Around the way! Good. Crossface now! Right there! Please gas out before us. Let's go! Go underneath it! There it is! Hip over, hit through, right there. There it is. Oh, good. There it is. Take it. Oh, it's all right, he's out. He's out. Drive, whip. Stop.
Be tough on my match. Keep fighting.